Duet Night Abyss is a fantasy multiplayer game that's hotly anticipated in the gacha gaming community. It's all about cool-looking combat, grinding, and, oh yeah, boobs. And based on what I've played so far, the busty barmaids and endless slog for incrementally better gear aren't likely to capture your attention for very long. I played an early PC build of Duet Night Abyss ahead of its closed beta test, with the caveat that I wasn't able to experience multiplayer functionality, so consider this preview to be more about Duet Night's mechanics, world, and the grand narrative that underpins it all.
Tell me the truth if you want to live.
Your player character, a beautiful waif in bandages, awakens in a swirling snowfield. Mysterious voices speak to you. You are helpless and breathy, but out of the snow, someone reaches for you. It's Berry, a major character who will see you through the basics of movement in this world, most notably the helix jump, a slick way of vaulting yourself through the air. There's no cooldown on that jump, and you'll find quickly that it's a fun and efficient way of getting around, and powerful in combat. Once separated from Berry, you'll really begin to come into your own, both gameplay-wise and narratively speaking. Broke in a strange new city run by the ominously named Empire, you must become a fox hunter, picking up commissions at a rough-and-tumble tavern owned by the world's least believable barmaid. But wait! That's only half the story. There's a second protagonist, a male version who looks strikingly similar to the girl you just met. The idea is that these two show different sides of the same narrative. In the city, the girl sees townsfolk experiencing discrimination, violence, and cruelty at the hands of the Empire. Meanwhile, the boy is a part of the Empire, commanding the same brutish soldiers who are now wounded and pitiful after battle. Much has been made of these dual protagonists and plotlines, but frankly, I don't think they're as revolutionary as the developer seems to think they are. There were no surprises, no events in one character's story that might make the others revelatory. Of course, this is still early on, and I hope to be proven wrong as more story content becomes available.
Hang in there! I got you!
Anyway, solid story or not, this game's art is beautiful. I loved the line work, the colors, the fluid animation. I tend to approach the anime aesthetic with skepticism, so trust that my praise says something about how polished and breathtaking the aesthetic was. Unfortunately, I began to feel less enthusiastic the boobier Duet Night became. More on that later. The English voiceover is absolutely fantastic, one of Duet Night's highlights. As I progressed and met more characters, I found each one's voice and dialogue distinct and full of individual personality.
I don't want to bother you. I just want to strike a small bargain.
Once you're through the initial story quests, you'll be participating in a lot of combat. It'll be familiar to anyone who has ever played any kind of hack and slash, but it's fun for a while. All the shiny sword slashes and oversized guns look epic, especially paired with the helix jump ability. Switching between melee and ranged weapons is seamless, and to really hone your killing skills, you can equip the ridiculously named demon wedges, supplements to your own weapons that bump up various stats. You can mix and match a few of these at any time, playing around with combinations to find synergies that could take your combat to the next level. I still have an unclear sense of Duet Night's intended monetization model. There are hints, of course, such as multiple currencies. I was overwhelmed trying to understand where to obtain each one and what each one could buy. Though there didn't appear yet to be an interface to spend real-life money, you can bet that's coming.
Where are the sinners?
I'm not gonna mince words. Duet Night Abyss is a grind fest. Take the retrace system, which is a dice roll to win a bunch of random new weapons to pick from. It's literally click a button and see what you get. Your rewards may be epic, but are mostly not. Provided you have enough of the hourglass currency, you can just hammer that retrace button like a slot machine. It's one of the least engaging things I have ever seen in my time as a gamer. You can also pick up commissions from the aforementioned tavern, which are instances where you'll do most of your flashy combat. They may have different themes, a church overgrown with grass, for example, or a mine, but they all follow the same formula. A bunch of rooms that look exactly the same, where you can defeat increasingly difficult and boring waves of monsters. You can grind for weapons to craft into better weapons. You can grind for coins to buy cosmetic items like a chicken for your head. You can grind to obtain new playable avatars, most of them busty women. Or you can enter Sand Realm Meditation, which is a euphemism for practicing your combat skills via, you guessed it, grinding. But all the flashy abilities, gear, and flower hats you're grinding for mean nothing without an audience to impress. Unfortunately, I didn't experience any of Duet Night's social aspects. The instances can match you up with 3 other players, friends or randoms, but given that I was playing before the closed beta began, there was no one for me to match up with. Perhaps Duet Night will feel like less of a grind as it opens up to players and a community grows, but I'm not sure at this stage what that would look like.
Relax.
I recognize that grindy games do have an audience, but as a game reviewer, I feel icky recommending them when there are so many more engaging, delightful, and, dare I say, interactive games out there. In the beginning, I thought I might like Duet Night Abyss. In those first moments, I felt like I was watching a beautifully animated film and intrigued where the wave's story might lead me, even if I did have to grind my way there. But then the curvaceous women began appearing. This isn't uncommon in anime, but it immediately narrows the audience down to one of specific tastes. I personally felt isolated. As slick as Duet Night Abyss was, I could never fully appreciate the better parts of it, such as the art or the cute side quests, knowing that the game wasn't looking for players like me. There's an audience out there for Duet Night Abyss, but it isn't me. Maybe it'll be you. For more on Duet Night Abyss, check out the trailer for the upcoming closed beta test, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.